Hola clase, this is Mr. Tyler, and as you can see I have your proverb, which is the 27th and 28th verse of chapter 8, and it reads, I, wisdom, was there when he set the heavens in place, when he marked out the horizon in the face of the deep. Today is Tuesday, March 31st, and this is section 10.3, verifying trigonometric identities. On page 628 of your text, Algebra 2 text, there are 14 basic identities, trigonometric. On the left-hand side, there are a group of 3 that you need to know. You need to know the reciprocal identities, the quotient identities, and the Pythagorean identities. You will need to be familiar with, but not memorize, the cofunction identities and the negative angle identities. Today, we're not going to verify identities. We are only going to simplify, and we will use that process tomorrow to verify. So today, we're just simplifying. We'll do some examples from the book, and then I'll do some odd numbered exercises, and you will be assigned some evens. So, going around the room, Ray, there's the beach that I'm always thinking about. There's our proverb up on the board at the top, Proverbs 27 and 28 from chapter 8. These are the 3 reciprocal identities. These are 3. They're not the 3 that are listed in your book. In your book, cosecant is listed as 1 over sine. Secant is listed as 1 over cosine. And cotangent is listed as 1 over tangent. And so I did the reciprocals of those. So you would have the full 6 total reciprocal identities. So sine is 1 over cosecant. Cosine, 1 over secant. And tangent, 1 over cotangent. You can substitute x for theta, if that helps you. In your text, these are also listed as the tangent and cotangent identities. When I was in school, I learned them as the quotient identities because they are quotients. Tangent, which we have used already, is sine over cosine. Cotangent is cosine over sine. You will also note that this one is not in the book at the top. The tangent squared is the same as sine squared over cosine squared. I did make you a note that you will also be using all available algebraic tools or techniques to simplify and to verify tomorrow. All right, what's going to be new today are Pythagorean identities. Sine squared plus cosine squared is 1. 1 plus tangent squared is going to be secant squared. You'll just have to remember that tangent and secant go together. Then 1 plus cotangent squared is cosecant squared. So if you can remember the 2 c's go together, cotangent and cosecant, hopefully that'll be helpful. That's how I remember them. These you do not have to memorize, but you do need to be familiar with them. The tangent of the quantity pi halves minus theta equals cotangent of theta. There are 2 more cofunction identities, sine and cosine, and they're there in your text, I believe on page 628. At the bottom of the board, you will see an example of a negative angle identity, that the sine of negative theta equals negative sine of theta. There's also one for cosine and tangent, and again, those are found on page 628. These you just need to be familiar with. These others, you need to commit to memory. If and when we have a quiz or test, these are going to show up at the very top of your test. And you will also need to know them or be familiar with them today as we go through our examples. So I'm going to stop this video and start another one.